Alright, it's our 04 Pontiac Grand Prix GT 3.8 Series 3, no supercharger. What I had, I'm hoping this is the fix. It seems to be, I don't want to speak too soon. But what I had is the RPMs were all over the place. We've been trying to fucking deal with this for shit since, I'm gonna say, October, November. We did a whole host of sensor replacements, wiring, looking over everything. Today, after reading through just about every forum that I could, or thread I could on GPNA or Grand Prix of North America, I found that a couple guys had similar issues. Guys, gals, whatever. With what I was having, RPMs tweaking out, you know, when you go to idle or braking. I'll post a whole list of repairs that we've done that haven't worked. One of the repairs that I actually did, and evidently didn't catch something, was, oops, probably just scared the shit out of my neighbors. Anyways, I replaced a PCV valve. What I didn't catch is that there's two O-rings, not just the one red one, and that there's actually one on the bottom, a little like 3/4 inch black O-ring. So this morning I went out after spending 11 hours at the shop yesterday and tearing this fucker apart, checking connections, having the owner of the shop look it over, which he's looked it over since we started having the problems. He's had other guys look at it. I had a dealership look at it. But I opened up the hood this morning, at the church, found out, or I pulled the map sensor, disconnected the map sensor, pulled the map sensor, pulled the little plastic bull crap that always breaks over the PCV valve, pulled off the red O-ring, pulled out the valve itself, and lo and behold, no little black O-ring whatsoever to be found. So I went ahead and spent the whole $18 for the Dorman PCV valve kit. That's the little black plastic bullcrap housing cover, the spring, 2 O-rings, and the new PCV valve. When I pulled it up to the garage, I had the wife pick up the parts for me. When I got it up to the garage, it was, the RPMs were surging for no reason. It's been doing it for months now. I get a reduced power mode light. It's been a cluster. So I replaced that. I also replaced the map sensor connector, and I also replaced the mass airflow sensor connector, which I had to replace the MAF. I replaced the MAF a couple weeks ago. Well, in the process, I broke the connector, so it was held on by zip ties until today. Picked up a wire harness for that, or a pigtail. But as you can see, now granted I'm on side streets in my neighborhood right now. I'm gonna get out onto a main road here in a second. The RPMs are not doing so bad. One of my chief complaints lately is I'm getting, at the lowest I was getting 14 miles to the gallon. Past couple weeks I've been getting just over 15 miles per gallon. So obviously that's a huge red flag for me. I keep track of all my gas purchases. I got an app that does all the math for me because I'm a math dummy. main thing we noticed last night, and the reason we kind of pointed towards the PCV valve or the EGR valve, a whole host of things, is we went to remove the oil fill cap after finding a transmission line had the crimp had gone bad and started leaking. Because I don't want to destroy a brand new rebuilt transmission. Neither does the guy that owns the shop, because he's the one that rebuilt it and he'd be the one replacing it. But we found that, and while we were under there, we just happened to pull the 710 cap, or oil cap for us intellectual car guys. I'm not an intellectual car guy, I'm a DIYer who likes to get under the hood and is trying to learn at the shop what, you know, how to do shit. I've done the basics, some of the basics. I got a friend that introduced me to a guy that owns a shop. We both work at the shop on Saturdays here locally in Cincinnati. But as you can tell, in the 6 minutes and 29 seconds so far, it hasn't, I mean, the pickup's there, which has been kind of lacking. The one thing I don't like, but I've noticed over the past couple months, is the RPMs. Once you accelerate and drop let off the accelerators, they drop pretty heavily. So I don't know if that's just gonna be a relearn issue. But it seems to be doing a hell of a lot better. Like I said, the 3 things today that remedied, I can't fucking say that word, remedy, for so far for this issue. Granted, I had the battery disconnected, so that could be why it's running so nice, because it lost all that crap information off the old setup. There's a PCV valve, the entire kit. If you're having problems, don't buy just the PCV valve. Spend the $15 extra and get the kit. It's 2 O-rings, a black 3/4 inch O-ring, like an inch and a quarter red O-ring, new PCV valve spring, the cap, and a valve. I mean, what else? I mean, for 18 bucks, 17 bucks, you can't beat it. And I'm sure you can find them cheaper online somewhere. So I would try, if you're having RPM issues, start there. I had a lot of guys, I'm idling by the way, parked in my driveway. I had a lot of guys, or a lot of threads that I read that said, you know, told guys to replace the PCV valve. I overlooked it every time because, well, I had already done it, and I figured I did it right and didn't miss anything. Boy, was I wrong. Like $3,000 later, you'll see in the description attached to this video the entire list. Well, not the entire list. I'm sure there's something I'm missing of what I've done, what I haven't done. But as you can tell, I'm sitting here in the driveway, and excuse me. Normally, this little sumbitch would be flopping around. It's moving a little bit, but let's see. Let's turn the air on, see if it drops it out a little bit. Not really. Didn't have any effect on it. So hopefully that's all the repairs I have to do until it gets warmer. As you can tell, I've got the traction, the TC light, the ABS light, and a brake light. That's all something I'm gonna have to look into. There's one code that's showing a circuit malfunction on the right rear. I think that has to do with the brake light, and then I've got the ABS and the traction, the TC light for front driver, front left, that I got to tear into, figure out what the hell's going on. If you've had that issue, these gosh darn lights, and have found a fix for it. I've replaced the hubs. I've done just about everything. I mean, in the way of replacing the hubs, actually they've been replaced a couple times, and as you can tell, they're still there. So I'm hoping to get that looked into. I have heard that it's a wire harness issue. You get a short in it. Evidently that's common. I've had people tell me to replace the hubs. Been there, done that. So at this point, I don't know what's going on with that. We had talked about buying the 2 wire harnesses online. They're like 60 bucks. Yes, I know I can get them cheaper at a scrapyard, but I'm not that type of guy. I hate, for my personal car, and especially if I'm working on someone else's car, I don't like using junkyard parts. There's too many ifs, ands, or buts that are there that could possibly screw something up or cause something to go wrong in the future. That's just my take. Spend the extra change, extra couple bucks, or extra paycheck in some cases to just get the OEM parts from a parts store. Not Duracrap. I'm sorry, I bought Duralast parts for the longest, and coming to work at this shop, I have learned that they are Duracrap. I've switched over to O'Reilly's where I can get BWD or a little bit better product. I'm not a fan of Duralast anymore. Yes, I've still got Duralast parts on the car, but it's because I don't have the money to replace everything. Any suggestions, comments, concerns, just go ahead and put them in the comments page. If you've got transmission problems, leave me a comment. I'll get you in touch with the owner of the shop I'm working for. Yes, that's kind of a plug for him, free of charge. But he's a good dude. He won't screw you over. I had jobs or places quote me $3 grand to replace the transmission or rebuild the transmission. I got it for a pretty damn good, better price. It was right around 2. One shop actually quoted me 4, so that was a no-go. But I'm out. As you can tell right now, it seems to be doing good. I'll keep an eye on it. Bye.